Good afternoon, assalamu alaikum, vanakkam, hello, ayubowan. It's been a while since I posted anything on Facebook, and probably the same time, probably 4 or 5 months since I posted a video on Facebook. I've had my personal reasons for it. For those who felt a difference and reached out, I thank them. A lot of those calls and messages have gone unanswered, and I do apologize, but the care and concern shown is appreciated. Usually when I figure something out or learn something new, especially to do with mental health, I do try to share it. I have been told before that that's because I need attention. It's an attention-seeking stunt. I need views or hits or whatever, probably. I do have a little bit of attention-seeking in my nature. I do admit to it. However, this one is not, because I will not be checking any replies or likes or anything for this video. I'm going to give you the heads up. It's going to be a long video. My honest intention is, if this helps one person in distress or someone heading towards distress, if it helps one person, that's all I want from it. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I will give a personal example so other people can relate to it. People who've known me well enough for long enough, I would feel quite certain that they may not think of me as someone going through depression or being depressed. I would assume they would think the polar opposite of, this guy's crazy, outspoken, opinionated, strong-willed, strong-minded, out there, very socializing. I don't know whether I'm sociable. Basically someone who's not showing signs of depression. But I have recently been diagnosed with depression, going back to a good 6.5 years. Could be further, but I'm still working with my clinical psychologist. I'm not ashamed or embarrassed to say it out loud, because it was not self-inflicted. It's not drug or alcohol induced. That's just how life worked out. I was never in denial. I had even gone and seen psychologists on a couple of occasions in the last 6 years. But it was never to say that I was feeling down or feeling depressed. It was to address other issues that I've felt. But it is what it is. I'm glad that I found out now, not later. I'm on medication, which is helping, I would think, because the unpleasant sign of mental health issues, or even depression, or any other mental health issue, is not only does it affect you, it affects the people around you. So if anyone that I've associated closely enough to be impacted by my behavior or my nature during that period of time, I do apologize. It was not my intention. As I said, I've not been in denial. It's just how it worked out, unfortunately. Because I've openly spoken about mental health issues, being aware, seeking help when needed, reaching out to people, etc. And right throughout the whole intent was, I've seen people suffer through mental health issues. I've seen people suffer through mental health issues, not get help, and how it affects other people. And I've even unfortunately known of people who suicided due to mental health issues and it being unbearable. So hopefully what I say today in my yet to come lengthy video helps someone. Depression, from what I've understood now even more, can happen to anyone. It's not a pinpointed reason. It could be financial issues, work stress, relationship stress, stress with children, or being pregnant, or postnatal, or the loss of a loved one. It could even apparently be the loss of a pet who you've been very close to. So the reasons for you to be depressed or have any other mental health issue, it's just vast. I probably couldn't just ramble on in 20 minutes and say all those reasons, even if I knew them, which I don't. What I can say is, if you feel odd in any way or form, you feel like it's not exactly how I felt for a better part of my life, or you feel that some part of your life is being stressful towards you, it's nothing to be embarrassed to go and see a psychologist. Now, I live in Western Australia, and I can only speak of my experience living my adult life in Australia. There are things in place for it, but you do need to speak to the right person. You can speak to a general practitioner, get a mental health care plan, and you get a subsidized 10 visits or possibly 20 due to COVID to go and see a psychologist. Now, they can't fix your problem, whatever your problem is, but they can talk you through certain ways of managing it. So rather than being in a deep, dark hole, how I would explain how I felt, they would, or hyperventilating or panic attacks or things of that nature, they can assist you with breathing exercises or certain exercises or techniques that could take your mind off it, even for a brief period of time. Because the next topic I would go through to is, when you are in that deep dark hole, it seems very deep and dark as the deep dark hole. And sometimes you don't see a solution or anything positive, anything coming out. And it's a very thin line, and it's a very quick time. You can go from feeling that to feel that there is no purpose, there is no way out. And the only solution you may see is just ending it. So, which is suiciding. And as statistics show, and it goes to prove, people suiciding always don't intend to terminate their life. What they want to end or terminate is the pain they're in, which is unbearable. Every angle you look at, you can't see a solution. You can't see yourself getting out of it. Now, I wouldn't go to say that every problem will have a solution, but suiciding is possibly not the solution in almost all of those instances. Reach out to people, try to talk to people, seek help, see what you can do before you make that drastic decisions where if you are successful, there is no coming back. Now, the opposite thing is finding people out who are going through something difficult. Now, different people deal with things differently. Now, I somewhat opted to shutting myself down from the world, trying to deal with it on my own, the best way I see fit. That's how I've managed. I'm still here. As they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I wouldn't agree to the strengthening part, but I would say I have learned a lot. I've learned further about human behavior, how people feel, how people react, how people react, which is what people do. People act, which is in most instances a reaction, unless it's the action which is the instigating first step. Suss them out. You can't overburden them saying, I'm here for you, I want to talk to you, I want to help you, because in that particular moment, that might be a tipping point for them. So you got to reach out, let them know you're there. Remember, if your genuine intent is to help, you're not going to ask them, tell me what's wrong. You just need to let them know we're there for you. What can we do for you? Is there something we can do? How can we help? Because the human nature is being inquisitive, which is to say, so what happened? Tell me what happened. That might not help that individual blurting it out, get through what they need to. At some point in time, they may come out and say, listen, this is what's happened. It helped me to talk about it. It lessens the burden, etc. So be there for people, be kind. If you see someone at work, I mean, we all have our personal lives with, families, work, life, etc. So we don't have a lot of time these days. Try to make a little bit of time for someone whom you know, or you spot, or you observe is acting differently, or they feel down, they look down. I read in a book, one of our kids were reading recently, it said, if someone's feeling blue, be kind to them and give them a hug. maybe not try to hug people. You do need to maintain social distancing, number one, and hugging a random person might end up being a problem for you. But be kind. Just know that any problem you're going through, it's guaranteed there's going to be a million people more than you, million people that are dealing with something bigger than what you're dealing with. So if there is room for your life to be kind to someone, to try to absorb something, they might even, they might speak out loudly, or they might be a bit rude, they might not be themselves. Whilst nobody needs to tolerate someone else's problem, if you can find it in your heart and your mind, be kind to them. Just don't make a big deal out of it, if possible. Look after yourself, but don't make a big deal of someone, possibly verbally saying something or in their actions, rather than, harming you. Try to see it from their point. That's something we all fail to do. We look at something, we hear something, and we come to a judgment call saying, this is what it is. Something I've been practicing for a long time is to see that perspective, see, is this person always like this? If it's someone you know especially, are they always like this? Or could there be a reason for them to act or react in this manner? Which is the word that I like to use is kindfulness, which is being mindful and being kind, right? We all have problems. We all need help at some times, and we've all stuffed up. We fucked up, sometimes big time, hugely. And hopefully those stuff ups or fuck ups have not been irreversible or being detrimental to someone to an extent where it's actually, irreversible damage. I'll be the first to put my hand up. I've been told I've got a potty mouth. Absolutely, 100%. I have used it for a little bit of good, possibly a lot more bad. But what I will say is, knowingly, consciously, intentionally, I haven't gone out to hurt someone with my words. I work on it. I admit it, which is the first thing, is to know, understand, and admit. That's all I can do as a human. If tomorrow I'm a little bit better, that's all I can be. So I've apologized to everyone that I've felt that I've had an impact verbally or by my actions. Accepting the apology is also up to them. There's nothing saying they need to accept an apology, because sometimes when something is said or something is done, it's too much, and I respect and appreciate that. I'll move on from this topic. It's related in a way. When it comes to relationships, unless it's polygamy or one of those relationships where there's more than two people, respect that there's only two people. Try to respect and understand that there's only two people in a relationship. We make judgment calls. We assume what the world sees a very small component of a relationship in society. What goes behind closed doors, the most intimate moments, the most vulnerable moments, it's only those people who see it. So when two people are in strife, giving someone your opinion, making a judgment, or saying this is what it is or this is how it should be, sometimes it could be helpful, by all means, but also be mindful what you say. Is it factual? Is it something you know for a fact? Are you making your opinion be told? Or are you basing your own personal experiences, which is being painful to you or otherwise? Or is what you're saying based on it? I've seen that happen a lot. I experienced it quite recently from someone I've not known much at all. I reached out, and they did tell me something about me. I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to share what it is. My intention is not to, do anything to them. But what they said of not knowing me, it was quite hurtful. But I took it in my stride, thinking, look, you know what? Maybe I am. Maybe it's true. And what I've done is gone and spoken to my psychologist saying, look, I heard this. Can you please look into if I am? Because what was told, what was said to me, in my opinion, if I am that person, my opinion towards me, I'm not making a judgment call on anybody else, is I should not be in this society, not be around my kids. And I will even go to the extent of saying I should cease to exist, because it's that much of a weight, what I heard. But I'm looking into it, and time will tell if I figure out if I am. I'm sure it will come to fruition, if everything will come to light if I am. What's the other thing? I've spoken about suicide. Be aware, be mindful. I will shut this down. I've done a couple of videos yesterday, same topics, but it's gone way too long, and I think I've done a little bit better today. We all make mistakes. There's not a single person who can say, I've never made a mistake, right? If you made a mistake, try your level best, because usually a mistake is not, unless you live all by yourself, in a house by yourself, all mistakes will only affect you. But the chances are a mistake you make would affect somebody else. So put your ego aside, accept, admit, apologize, and see if you can rectify it or appease them in whatever way you can. Because your mistake, something you've said or done, somebody being in pain, and you saying, no, it is what it is. I had the right to do it, therefore I've done it. That person might be in such pain would lead to a state where they do take their own life, and there's no coming back from it. To me personally, my ego, my reputation, me being right, me never being wrong, none of these things are important to me. That's my personal view, that's my opinion. Now, if you agree, if you see that you are somewhat like that, if you can consider a little bit of a change, I would think it would be nice, it would be good. If not, just try to be kind. There's so many people suffering out there that we are unaware of, not just financially or physical ailments. A lot is to do with the mind. Depression is one of the biggest killers. I'm fairly sure if you look at the statistics, it's a much bigger killer than heart disease, cancer put together. And it's a very thin line, it's a very slippery slope. I know it very, very well. I know it too well. And so be kind, be kindful, mindful. Be kindful, mindful and kind. Have a nice day. Look after yourselves. If there is anything I can do to assist you, please private message me. I will not be looking at this video. I will not be responding to any comments or anything. Please don't contact me to find out what's wrong with me. If there is something you wish to unburden yourself, if you want to discuss something, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a counselor. The only knowledge I have is what I've invested my time in trying to figure things out. If you need someone to chat to, you've got a problem, I assure you your secrets will stay with me. I've held it for many years for many people. I will not use it against you. There is absolute indika patient confidentiality. So even the law can't touch us. Excuse me. So be kind, be mindful, be aware, look out for each other, be kind. Just be kind. Have a nice day. May whatever beliefs you have bless you in abundance. And have a blessed day.